Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be continuing into part 5 of What If Piccolo Was Never Born. If you haven't seen part 4, there is a title card where you can go check it out and see what happened in the last part, but today we'll be going into the continuation of the Namek saga. Will Kami arrive in time to help out the Saiyans? Can the Saiyans survive long enough? Will the Z Fighters be able to beat Frieza? All that will be answered in this part of What If Piccolo Was Never Born. Also, if y'all are interested, I own a Discord server for anyone who wants to join and talk more about Dragon Ball with me and other viewers. Maybe give us some of your own ideas of what ifs, and maybe in the future I could do them. Check the link in the description down below. For today's question of the video comes from Vinwana Schwarm. I'm so sorry. This is a very long name. We're just gonna call you Vish for short. And their question is, which anime would you like to make a crossover with Dragon Ball? And I kind of technically already did this as a what if, and I kind of haven't made a part 2, and I know a lot of people want a part 2, and I'm really sorry that I haven't made a part 2 in forever. But My Hero Academia, my second favorite anime under Dragon Ball, and I just enjoy the show a lot. Also, if y'all haven't seen that crossover of the first season of My Hero Academia with Goku going into that world, you should go check it out. I'll leave a link of the video in the description down below, so make sure y'all go check it out. And hopefully I'll get myself to post the second part. I have been writing it, it's just I don't know what to say. I'm so sorry for the people who really want to see it, and I just have made y'all been waiting for so long. I really apologize for that. Thank you so much for your question. If you would like to be featured in my next video, just comment down below your question, whether it's about Dragon Ball, another anime, or personal, and maybe your comment will be picked for the next video. Without further ado, let's dive into part 5 of What If Piccolo Was Never Born. The Saiyans are trying their best to work together to take on Frieza, but it is not in their favor as Frieza is just toying with them in his base form. He begins to torture Vegeta, laughing at his pain as the others would try to help Vegeta, but Frieza would easily shoot them all back. Frieza is about to put a finishing blow on Vegeta, but that is when he is sent flying right into the sky, but will recover quickly. He grows enraged as the attack actually hurt him a lot, as he would see Kami and Krillin. He was shocked at the fact that Namekian made him bleed. Kami looked at him with a cold dead stare as he was ready to finish off Frieza. Frieza would feel a sense of fear as he would shoot multiple death beams right at the Saiyans and the human. Kami, seeing the Saiyans very injured and would no doubt die in the attack, he would fly over to deflect the death beams to save them. With that distraction, Frieza wouldn't waste time and transform right into his final form after getting just a taste of the power that Kami has. Kami's eyes widened when he sensed the power coming from Frieza, so he threw the bag of sensu beans to Krillin, telling him to give it to the Saiyans quickly. As Kami would power up to his Kaioken times 20, bringing his power level to 60 million, as he would try to fight Frieza. Kami may be the strongest and using his highest level of Kaioken, but he can only measure up to half of Frieza's full power. The fight between Frieza and Kami resembles that of Goku and Frieza in the canon timeline. Kami was never a fighter, but with Nail, his fighting instincts have returned and being a better combatant than Frieza, but would still be struggling since Frieza was much stronger than him. Kami would be pushing his limits of Kaioken, destroying his body, but thanks to his Namekian ability of regrowing limbs, he was able to keep fighting for a longer period of time compared to someone who couldn't regenerate their body parts. However, he couldn't fight Frieza off alone forever. Finally, Yamcha and Tien arrived to the others as Krillin rounded up the team to tell them his plan. He tells the Saiyans that they need to stay put for now as Kami is able to give them a power boost that would help them in defeating Frieza, as the humans would hold them off for the time being so that Kami can recover and awaken the Saiyans' potentials. Krillin would hand over the sensu beans to Goku as he and the other two humans would face Frieza to get his attention so that Kami could back off for a bit, telling him what he needs to do. Kami would heal up after eating a sensu bean and then would proceed to unlock the Saiyans' potential to give them the needed boost to fight Frieza. Now this is all speculative as we don't have much to base these potential boosts for the Saiyans, and I would like to not spend as much time around the power scaling, and since they are Saiyans, we'll just give them a complete power boost right after the fact of their potentials being awakened. So we would just say that Goku and Vegeta have around the same multiplier, being 8 right after the potential is unlocked, and would have a 10 times multiplier right after. Raz would have a 7.5 multiplier and then a 9.5 multiplier, and Nappa would have a 7 times multiplier and then a 9 times multiplier. So here would be their power levels. They would all receive a Zenkai boost after their near-death experience with Frieza. Goku and Raditz would go from 50k all the way up to 150k. Vegeta would go from 38k to 120k, and Nappa would go from 25k to 90k. So from that, the power levels here are the new power levels with each multiplier boost. After all their potentials were unlocked, hope seemed to return to all of them as they would see the humans putting on a fair match for Frieza. Even though they are much weaker than him, with their teamwork they are actually holding out their own pretty well. Kami told the Saiyans that their only chance was to all fight together, so that's what they all started to do. Nappa would suggest a Great Ape form, but Vegeta would hold off on that idea for now, as they may grow stronger but wouldn't be fast enough to fight against Frieza. Everyone begins to fight together, and it does annoy Frieza a lot, but it's still pretty difficult for him to conquer and divide, as the Z fighters fight smart. Every time Frieza almost manages to hurt someone badly, they would somehow end up healing up. The Z fighters do know though that they cannot do this forever since the senzu beans aren't infinite. Tien would then think about the evil containment wave that he tried to do on Demon King Piccolo a few years back, and with that idea, Kami would tell Tien where the spaceship was, as he would quickly head over to find any container that he could use while the others hold Frieza off. Things start to ramp up as Frieza is losing patience with the Z fighters, trying to go for some more deadly attacks as he would hit both Goku and Vegeta, but when he isn't looking, Krillin would give them a senzu bean. Kami stated that he should be using the senzu beans mainly on the Saiyans as they grow stronger after almost dying, and right now that is their best chance at beating Frieza if they exploit that. Goku and Vegeta come back stronger and together use the highest level of Kaioken that they have, and finally start to do some real damage to Frieza. Without anyone here knowing how to use the Spirit Bomb, they have to solely rely on their own power to overpower Frieza, with Goku and Vegeta rushing to the front of the battle against Frieza, with the rest of the Z fighters supporting them by distracting Frieza in any way possible. Things start to look better for our Z fighters as Frieza was growing very upset, going to his full power. He started beating both Goku and Vegeta again, with overpowering them and with the fact that their bodies began dealing with the drawbacks of Kaioken. Frieza begins charging up a death ball and shoots it right towards Goku and Vegeta, as together they shoot out their own respective blasts to try to hold the attack back. With their injured bodies, they are only managing to slightly slow down the attack, so the rest of the Z fighters manage to shoot their own attacks to help out Goku and Vegeta, and they are having a beam struggle being able to hold off Frieza's attack, giving one final push as they all power up to the highest level of Kaioken at the same time, and the amount of power they manage to push the attack right back at Frieza, sending him flying away as they all powered down thinking it was over. Goku and Vegeta collapsed as their bodies were almost completely destroyed. Krillin walked over to them, giving them the last two senzu beans so they can be healed up. They ate the senzu beans and were starting to heal up as suddenly Raditz yelled out to Krillin to watch out, as he pushed Krillin out of the way and Raditz would be hit with a death beam by Frieza. Raditz wouldn't be killed but would be barely hanging on to life from the attack. Everyone's eyes would widen, in shock seeing Frieza still alive. Very injured, but alive. Tien would arrive, and seeing how bad the situation is, he would try to perform the evil containment wave out in the open, as he didn't have time to surprise Frieza with the attack. However, Frieza would spot Tien, and being with zero patience left, he shot a death beam right at Tien, gravely injuring him, and no longer able to use the evil containment wave. Goku would rush over to Raditz, seeing his barely living body, as Vegeta would tell Nappa to create a power ball so that they could transform, which he does so quickly, as Vegeta tells Goku to look at the power ball. Both Goku and Vegeta are filled with rage. Goku wanted to stop Frieza for almost killing his best friend and injuring his brother badly, while Vegeta grew enraged, not wanting to die by Frieza's hand, and his pride was crushed having to work with others just in order to fight Frieza, while he wanted to go at it alone. With the power ball, they started the process of transforming into the Great Ape form, but with the rage filled up inside of them, something different happened. They didn't go into the Great Ape form, but stayed in their normal bodies, but they had the power boost of the Great Ape. Their bodies bulked up and their hair spiked up a bit, and their eyes were brownish yellow. Frieza stood there confused, not exactly knowing what happened, until Nappa called the transformation they had the legendary Super Saiyan, which wasn't correct, but they did not know that at the time. Frieza grew worried, not wanting to believe what Nappa said. Even though they weren't Super Saiyans, they were both stronger than full power Frieza, and alone could stop Frieza, but they fought him together, so it would be brutal for Frieza with having to deal with two Saiyans stronger than him. Estimates of their power levels would be around 150 million in this transformation, with all the Zenkais they got earlier, so Frieza doesn't stand a chance in this fight, and Goku and Vegeta's rage won't allow the other to fight alone, as they both wanted Frieza to suffer. Goku still wouldn't kill Frieza this time, but with Vegeta having the power, he wouldn't hesitate and completely erase Frieza off the spot, not giving him a chance to come back later on. They would power down and be pretty exhausted from using that amount of energy, but Vegeta would be pretty excited with this newfound power. truly believing that it was the power of the Super Saiyan. They would prepare to leave Namek to head back to Earth, as suddenly they would just be teleported to Earth, as Bulma collected the Dragon Balls on Earth to wish back everyone to be on Earth. Seeing the injured, some Namekians will use their healing abilities to heal the wounded, so they can be brought back to full health, as the Namekians would thank the Z Fighters and especially Kami. They can sense Guru within Kami, knowing what has happened to him, as they ask Kami to be the next Grand Elder, which he was shocked that they asked him. He would turn it down as he is already the Guardian of Earth and cannot leave his post, as they accepted his answer and would look on to the next Namekian to be the next Grand Elder of their people, as Bulma would then use the second wish to bring the Namekians back home so they can rebuild from what Frieza and his army destroyed. And to their luck, their planet wasn't destroyed this time around. For the Saiyans, they slowly grow to like Earth and decide to stay continuing training, with Vegeta and Nappa just living out in the forest on their own, as they would just train until an unknown person from the future would eventually arrive. And that's where I'm going to leave it off for now. Tell me how y'all think about the 5th part and how I did with the continuation of this What If. What is next for our Z fighters? Will there be big consequences of them not achieving Super Saiyan when fighting Frieza? Are the androids going to still be a threat? What could have happened differently? Leave your thoughts down in the comments down below. I would love to hear them. If y'all are interested and enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be alerted whenever I post another part. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next part. See ya.